Imagine you're 18 years old. You've just graduated high school. Everyone around you, your parents, your teachers, your guidance counselor, are telling you the same thing. Go to college, get a degree. It's the only way to get a good job. So you do what you're told. You apply, you get accepted, and you sign on the dotted line for $40,000, $60,000, maybe even $100,000 in student loans. You don't fully understand what that number means yet. Nobody really explains it to you. You just know that a degree equals a better future. Fast forward 4 years. You graduate, you're excited, you're ready. And then the bill arrives. Suddenly, that abstract number becomes very real, and for millions of people, that moment is the beginning of a financial trap that follows them for decades. So today, let's talk about something nobody tells you before you sign up: the real cost of the college degree trap, and why the math doesn't always work the way you were taught to believe. Problem setup. Here's the belief most people grow up with. College is an investment. You spend money now, you earn more later, and it all balances out. And on the surface, that sounds completely logical. After all, data does show that college graduates earn more on average than those without degrees. So the equation seems simple. Spend now, earn more, win later. But here's where most people get it wrong. They treat college like a guaranteed return on investment without ever actually running the numbers. They don't ask, how long will it actually take to break even? What does the debt cost me while I'm waiting? And what else could I have done with that money? Most 18-year-olds aren't thinking about any of that. They're thinking about the diploma on the wall, the title, the validation. And honestly, that's not their fault because the system isn't designed to make them think otherwise. Core explanation. Let's break this down with a simple example. Say you borrow $60,000 to get a 4-year degree. That's actually below the average for many private universities in the US. With a standard 10-year repayment plan and around 6% interest, you'll end up paying back roughly $80,000 total. That's $20,000 in interest alone, money you're paying for the privilege of having borrowed money. Now your monthly payment, around $665 every single month for 10 years. Think about what that does to your financial life. You graduate, you land a job paying $45,000 a year, which is realistic for many entry-level positions with a bachelor's degree. After taxes, you're taking home maybe $3,000 a month, and immediately $665 of that is gone before you've bought a single grocery. You can't build an emergency fund because every extra dollar goes to debt. You can't start investing because there's nothing left. You can't save for a house deposit. You're just surviving. And here's the part that really stings. Interest doesn't wait for you to get your life together. While you're figuring out your career, the loan keeps growing. Miss a few payments, defer for a couple of years, and suddenly your $60,000 has ballooned into $70,000 or $75,000. This is the trap. It's not the degree itself, it's the financial structure around it that nobody explains to you at 18. Insight section. Now, here's the deeper thing happening that most people never talk about. We've created a system where the value of a degree has become disconnected from its cost. 40 years ago, tuition at a state university in the US cost roughly $400 in today's dollars. Today, that same university might charge $12,000 to $15,000 per year. Tuition has increased by more than 1,000% since the 1980s, far outpacing inflation and far outpacing wage growth. But here's what hasn't kept pace: entry-level salaries. So the gap between what degrees cost and what they actually pay back has widened dramatically, but the cultural message hasn't changed. We still tell every 18-year-old the same thing we told kids in 1985: go to college, it's worth it. And that's the psychological trap buried inside the financial one. It's called the sunk cost bias. Once you've committed to a degree, once you've told your family, posted about it online, spent 2 years studying, walking away feels like failure. So people keep going. They take on more loans for graduate school to make their undergrad degree worth it. They pile debt on top of debt, chasing a credential that was supposed to be the answer. Meanwhile, research is showing something uncomfortable. Studies from organizations like the Federal Reserve Bank of New York found that roughly 41% of recent college graduates are working jobs that don't even require a degree, and a significant portion of those graduates are still carrying the full weight of student debt. That's not an investment gone right. That's a system that sold you something expensive without a proper returns policy. So what does this actually mean for you, and what should you do differently? First, if you're young or you have kids approaching college age, the most important shift is this. Treat college like a financial decision, not just a life milestone. Before you sign anything, ask 3 questions. 1. What is the average starting salary for someone with this specific degree and this specific field? Not the dream salary, the realistic average starting number. 2. How long will it take to break even after accounting for loan repayment? And 3. Are there alternative paths, trade schools, certifications, apprenticeships, or self-directed learning that lead to the same destination at a fraction of the cost? Because here's what's changed in the last decade. The job market has shifted. Employers like Google, Apple, IBM, and many others have removed degree requirements from large portions of their job listings. Skills and portfolios are increasingly valued over credentials. Second, if you're already carrying student debt, understand that the worst thing you can do is ignore it. Make a clear plan. Know your interest rate. Look into income-driven repayment plans if you're struggling. And if you have any extra income, even small amounts, throwing it at the principal early can save you thousands over the life of the loan. Third, and this is the mindset shift, stop measuring the value of education purely by the diploma. The real value is in skills, connections, and application. You can build all 3 in ways that don't require 6 figures of debt. Here's the thought I want to leave you with. College isn't bad. Education isn't bad. Knowledge is one of the best investments you can make in yourself. But there's a difference between investing in education and blindly paying a premium price for a credential because you were told it was the only path forward. The most dangerous financial decisions aren't the ones that obviously look risky. They're the ones that feel safe, the ones that feel like the responsible, expected thing to do. And for a long time, college was that decision. Nobody questioned it because it came wrapped in respectability. But the numbers have changed. The job market has changed. And the question every young person should be asking isn't just, should I go to college? It's, is this specific degree at this specific cost worth this specific financial commitment? And what's my plan if it isn't? Because